This is the Laughlin Town Advisory Board, Laughlin Regional Government Center, 101 Civic Way, Laughlin, Nevada, 89029. Today's date is May 13th, 2025. The time is 1:30. Items on the agenda may be taken out of order. The board may combine two or more agenda items for consideration. The board may remove an item from the agenda or delay discussion relating to an item at any time. No action may be taken on any matter not listed on the posted agenda. All planning and zoning matters heard at this meeting are forwarded to the Board of County Commissioners, Zoning Commission, BCC, or the Clark County Planning Commission, PC, for final action. Please turn off or mute all cell phones and other electronic devices. Please take all private conversations outside the room. With a 48-hour advance request, a sign language interpreter or other reasonable efforts to assist and accommodate persons with physical disabilities may be made available by calling 702-455-3530, TDD at 702-385-7486, or Relay Nevada toll-free at 800-326-6868. Supporting materials provided to the board members for this meeting may be requested from Tammy Harris at 702-298-0828. Supporting material will be available at Clark County Department of Administrative Services, 500 South Grand Central Parkway, 6th floor, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89155. Supporting material is or will be available at the county's website at clarkcountynv.gov/LaughlinTAB. I'll go ahead and do roll call. Myself, I'm here. Kathy Oakes.
Here.
Bradley Beck.
Present.
Fred Doughton.
Here.
Kathleen Haas.
Here.
Our secretary is Tammy Harris, who can be reached at 702-298-0828. Or Tammy.Harris at clarkcountynevada.gov. Our county liaison, Mark Moskowitz, can be reached at 702-298-0828 or 702-455-6173, or Mark.Moskowitz, MOSKOWITZ, at clarkcountynevada.gov. I've already done the call to order and the roll call. Fred, if you'll please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Item number 2, public comment. This is a period devoted to comments by the general public about items on this agenda. No discussion, action, or vote may be taken on the agenda item. You will be afforded the opportunity to speak on individual public hearing items at the time they are presented. If you wish to speak to the board about items within its jurisdiction, but not appearing on this agenda, you must wait until the comments by the general public period listed at the end of this agenda. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please step up to the speaker's podium. If applicable, clearly state your name and address, and please spell your last name for the record. If any member of the board wishes to extend the length of a presentation, this will be done by the chairperson or the board by majority vote. Seeing as no one's coming up, I will combine items number 3 and 4, approval of the minutes for April 8th, and approval of today's agenda, and hold, combine, or delete any items as necessary.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, item number 5, receive a report and updates from the South County Liaison, Mark Moskowitz, on a recap from the Wings and Wildlife event on May 3rd at Pyramid Canyon Park, and any other updates from Clark County. Mark?
Thank you, Chair. If we'll bring up my presentation. We had a great event on Saturday, May 3rd, and let's bring up the PowerPoint. It was a wonderful time. There we go. So it was a great time out at the park. We had really nice weather. I want to thank the Colorado River Heritage Greenway Park Trail Advisory Council for all their hard work to set it up. We had a wonderful turnout. We had a kite flying, bounce house, wildlife treasure hunts, music from DJ Legit, who is actually a Metro officer, which was great. I want to thank the Elks so much for donating all the food that was out there. Pink Box donated donuts. We just had a really great day. A lot of information was learned about birds. We had a wing wall, as you can see in this other picture from Get Outdoors Nevada, which the kids could put their arms up against it and see how long their arms were. So it was a really great time. I want to thank the community for showing up. I think the Mojave Daily News put an article out about it. It was really well done. So thank you so much. I want to let everyone know that the next event that the council will be doing will be Public Lands Day, and that'll be on September 27th. So you'll be hearing about that as well. So, and then if we can bring up my presentation one more time. I know last month I talked about Silver Rider, and Mike Jackson with Silver Rider will talk more about this later on, but I know a big push of Commissioner Naff, myself, and Silver Rider was to remove that bus stop across the street on Bruce Woodbury. As you know, it has some caution tape. That's just because it's currently out of service because they're doing a pilot program, and they've added stops by Vintage and Vista. So just as a little memory, when Mike Jackson comes up, he'll talk more on that and how that program's going. So, and with that, those are all my updates. Thanks.
Thank you. Receive a report from Lieutenant Rogers with Metro Police regarding activity and statistics during the past month and other area crime concerns.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me here. I'll go over the stats first, and then we can talk about some community events that we have coming up over the next couple weeks. So for the month of March, we handled 286 calls for service, which is actually a pretty good drop from last year, about 19%. We had 75 traffic citations that were written here in the Laughlin area with 4 DUI arrests, 4 arrests for battery domestic violence on adults, and a total of 16 arrests here at our intake booking Tucker Holding facility, and just 1 call at the elementary high school campus. As far as a recap, on the River Run or the Mayhem event or whatever we're kind of calling it, it went really well. It's actually the first, if anyone was out and about around 11:30, it was the first time in probably 5 years we actually had a documented OMG gang ride down Casino Drive, about 40 motorcycles, all fully patched, and a couple, we call them chase vehicles, but a couple vehicles that fell in behind them, and they ended up going to the parking lot of the gas station across from Harris, that Shell gas station, kind of at the end of Casino Drive. We had plenty of resources here, and it went well. We didn't have to take any police action. They weren't really committing any crimes, and they stayed there for about an hour and then they left. So that was kind of like the notable event that we haven't seen in the last few years of really just any large documented gang members coming down here for the run. So the plan for next year will be the same as this year. We will heavily staff it just as a precaution, and just kind of go from there with some of our information gathering. And if Bullhead continues to do the same across the river with their Mayhem event, then we'll definitely make sure that our side of the river is maintained at a safety level. So that's kind of the update from that, if anyone was curious. As far as the decrease in calls for service, we've really done a lot with the homeless and some outreach. We've done some outreach at the casinos with some information on some of the in-custodies that they were doing and not doing. And then we've had constant contact with our apartment managers on calls for service. So, we focus on problem people, problem places. So if there is an apartment at XYZ apartment complex who is creating a lot of calls for service based off of crimes, then our move to the managers to have them evicted. And with the right documentation, that has been happening. So I think that's how we attribute a 19% reduction in calls for service from this time last year. So if there's no questions on any of those numbers or information, then I'll go on to some community events. Tomorrow we are doing our monthly coffee with a cop. It will be at the Riverwood apartment complex. We plan on being set up out at the basketball courts. So it's looking like a nice day. It shouldn't be too windy tomorrow. And so the entire, even if you don't live at Riverwood, the entire community is welcome to come out and visit with us. We'll have myself, a couple officers, detectives, my community liaison, Renee, will be there. So we really hope for a nice turnout, and we thank you to Riverwood for hosting us, because they usually provide the snacks. So nothing less than, if you don't have any questions for the police, at least come by and get a free coffee and a pastry or something. So come hang out. The following Wednesday, we're going to be at the Vistas apartment complex, and we're going to be trying to target more of our youth demographic. And towards the end of school here, we're going to do snow cones with a cop. We have a snow cone machine. We always appreciate the Bill Bray family. They donate a lot of ice to us, several bags of ice, and we make hundreds of snow cones, and we have all the syrups and all the stuff. So all we need is for the youth of Laughlin, even if they don't live in the Vistas, if they can make it to the complex next Wednesday, we'll be passing out snow cones. So hopefully everyone can come to that. The following Wednesday will be our blood drive. It'll be in this room. It normally sells out, so if you would like to donate blood, please get online and register ahead of time and make an appointment. So they don't really, they might, but usually it sells out, so they don't have room for walk-ins. So that will be in 3 Wednesdays. So the next 3 Wednesdays in a row, plan to come hang out with us, either having a snow cone or giving us your blood. That's all I got. Any questions from the board?
I just want to make a statement. It was really sorry to hear about Walt Hemingway passing away.
Yes, that was super tragic. Walt was a staple down here in Laughlin. He was one of my detectives before I got here for 10 plus years. As soon as he retired, he started battling cancer. I've spent many a days over at his house. I went to visit him in California at the hospital. And unfortunately, but I do appreciate that. He did lose his battle to cancer, so that's super sad. So if you could keep his family and his son in your prayers, that would be great.
Thank you.
So, all right, thank you.
Very good. Receive a report from Sergeant Tim Waller with Nevada Highway Patrol regarding activity and statistics during the last month and other public safety concerns.
Sergeant Waller couldn't make it today. He's in Las Vegas receiving an award. I'll be here. I'm Trooper Perkins. I'll be here in his replace. Last month's stats for Laughlin Searchlight area, 360 traffic stops were performed, 327 citations were issued, 48 commercial inspections were made. We handled 5 crashes, 1 fatal, and 2 arrests. Our total contacts for the month, including motorist assist, abandoned vehicles, and pedestrians, etc., was a total of 481. If nothing else new or interesting.
How is it affecting the traffic stops, maybe some accidents? I go up to Vegas a lot for appointments or meetings with the construction that's going on. I mean, some of those people are doing in excess of 100 miles an hour through there.
Correct. We have, during the week when they're working, there's two troopers on contract that are helping to protect the workers. We're doing extra enforcement on there. I myself have written almost 10 tickets in 2 hours by trying to work in that area. We've been more vigilant in that area, trying to slow them down. It is 55 from marker 17 to marker 37,
Right.
and it's going until November. So
I was just going to follow that up with how long they expected it to be.
they expect it to last until November, maybe a couple weeks further. So, but yes, it's a tough road, but there's only a few of us. We are shorthanded still,
Right.
but we are still attacking it as hard as we can.
Okay,
So, any other questions?
thank you.
Thank you.
Receive a report from Clark County Fire regarding calls for service during the month and other fire prevention issues.
Hello, Mike Hutch with the Clark County Fire Department. We ran 169 calls for the month of April. That's down 5% from last year. Overall for the year, though, we are up 10% from the previous year. Our most significant event, we had a rollover on 163 with 10 patients. One was dead when we arrived. We flew one out, and the other 8 went to regional hospitals here in the valley. We also have been over at Colorado Bell a couple times just to check out the system and stuff. Where they were kind enough to let us hook up to the system because it hadn't been ran in 6 years. So we flew water through the system to make sure everything worked there. It did work. Had a couple little hiccups with caps coming off at certain places, but once we got some steel caps on there, everything flowed well. The water flowed well. They didn't have any answers on what they were going to do with the Colorado Bell going forward, though. So that is an issue. They have 24-hour security. They're watching it and everything, but there are homeless that congregate around that area. We'll be getting a new engine in January that will be a huge upgrade from what we have, and we're very appreciative of that. Any questions for me?
I just have a comment. I know that there was a death out at Pyramid Park where he could not be found. He was having a heart attack, the gentleman was. I don't know if the markers have been put up as yet. Maybe Mark can answer that question, so it would be easier to find somebody.
Yep. I actually spoke with the fire department last week. We're working with RPM to put out signs on all the structures out there that are going to be more for EMS responses with Metro and fire. So I will double check with RPM. I know they were working on it. Hopefully by the end of this month, they'll be out there.
Yeah,
so
I'm hoping they do it
Yep.
soon. We do not want something like this happening again.
Yep, that'll help. And I know I think it's about 30 markers that they'll be putting on all the structures. Then we're also working with Bullhead as well so that they can kind of either continue our numbers so it makes sense, and then also to just make it so people know which side of the river they're calling from. So
My understanding is they completed them on the Bullhead side.
I will have to double check. I spoke with their parks director this morning, and he didn't have any new information for me.
Okay,
And those will be a great help, obviously. Thank you.
thank you. Receive a report from Jason Bailey with Big Bend Water District regarding the status of the water system.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. Jason Bailey with the Big Bend Water District. Total water use for the month of April were 253 acre feet. So year to date, we're just over 1,000 acre feet, which is up a little over 100 acre feet from the same time last year. Staff have begun cleaning screens and performing maintenance on finished water, the pump and the motor. This is routine maintenance in preparation for the heat of the summer months to help the reliability of the system. As far as a financial update, through the fiscal year of March 31st, the Big Bend Water District's accumulated debt balance has decreased to $1.98 million. And then I wanted to give two other just points of information. Big Bend Water District staff has been working with Congresswoman Lee's staff and submitted an application for community project funding for the design of a storage tank. So this is another effort in receiving funds for the design of that tank. We found out last week that Congresswoman Lee has committed to include that in her submittal of projects for the state of Nevada, and we should hear sometime in the fall about that funding there. So this is an earmark request for funds. And then I also wanted to just let the board know that the Board of Trustees will hear and we'll have a hearing to adopt the budget on Monday, this coming Monday the 19th. That will happen at 10 a.m. at the Clark County Government Center. And that is my report.
Thank you. Any questions?
Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Will is not here today from Clark County Water Reclamation. There is a report, and there's one at the back of the room. Receive a report from Mike Jackson, Executive Director with Southern Nevada Transit Coalition.
Afternoon, Town Board. I'll start with the usual workforce issues. I do believe that we're all seeing a improvement in this. I know that we're finally starting to have applications on file and scheduling interviews rather than as soon as they walk in the door, we grab them. So, so it is improving. We're going to continue to give the most attractive employee package we can. So I'm continuing to move wages up and improve benefits. Like I mentioned last meeting, we now include a retirement program to where we actually provide contributions to their retirement. So we have a very good package for employees. SNTC has been continuing to utilize 100% leftover COVID money. So in this last grant period, NDOT awarded us in part of our grant application the leftover COVID funding. So we've been actually operating off of 100% funding from NDOT FTA funds to where the RTC has been smiling very wide because they're not providing the match on a lot of the funds. That money is being used up as we need to, and then we go right back into the matching funds. Part already we've used up, and for example in Laughlin, operations and maintenance is now onto the matching funds. Administration still has 100% funding. The funding's all really complicated. You know, administration is 80-20, maintenance is 95-5, and operations is 60-40. So I mean, it's all across the board, but it's going well. We went ahead and applied for our next 2-year grant, which is going to be 26, which is another 25, 26, 26, 27. Had a little bit of difficulties getting our commitment letters from RTC, who is our match provider, because currently this AB 25 bill that's going through the state, which has a lot to do with sales tax, transportation funding. And without that, if it doesn't get passed, then there's going to be a problem with funding for transportation in Las Vegas, which will impact us as well. So I've been very supportive on their movement. I've had a letter of supports that I've written to take to the Assembly. It's already passed its first run, and we're hopeful on the next. And it looks good. We should be okay. But I'm doing my part in trying to find other matching fund opportunities to where we're not relying solely on the RTC for our matching funds. The NDOT allowed us to submit our application with only the 1-year commitment for the 2-year grant, and once we have the 2nd-year commitment, we'll submit it before that time comes. Fixed route ridership staying pretty steady. It has its weirds up and downs, but average it's doing well. One of the areas that's doing quite well is our Vegas Express. The buses have been full day after day after day, and Laughlin's the only division that we offer Monday through Friday express routes. The other sites only do it once a month because the ridership's not there. So where we do it 5 days out of the week, and the buses are full every day. So it's a very good service. Everybody's enjoying it, and we will continue to provide it. Another thing we started was a pilot program on Route 888. We went ahead and did a deviation to where we now service, as Mark stated, a couple bus stops at Vista Creek. The previous executive director did not want our buses to go down Cougar. She felt it was difficult to do a turnaround at the end. I personally went with Mark and Sue, and we tested the bus as I drove, and it's no different than what we're doing at Portofino. In fact, it's in my, yeah, it's easier.
Oh, yeah.
So after doing that, we made the decision to go ahead and include it in a pilot program, and we're documenting all the ridership. Along with the pilot program, we're seeing how the ridership is and bringing 888 back to its original pre-COVID hours, which normally would end at 12:45. That's 4 hours. It's an additional 4 hours of service. What I don't want, I want to increase ridership. If the riders are just shifting from one route to the other and I'm not having an increase, then there's really no sense in doing it. There is a convenience factor though because of the different directions. I'm already getting very positive feedback from the public that they're very thankful for us bringing those hours back. But I have to watch our numbers, I got to watch our budget, and so far it's looking okay. The Vista Creek is very successful. I can honestly say right now that that pilot section part will stay. The pilot will be extended so we can really get some solid numbers for the extended hours. I was talking to Mark today, there's been a couple complaints about the bus stop that's still on Bruce Woodbury, even though we have it very well wrapped, showing that it's closed, but there's still people going to it. So I'm going on vacation, not to mention we have some big projects going on that I'll talk about here in a sec. I will have the bus shelter removed in about a month. We do it ourselves, so. But the pilot program is really going well, and that Vista Creek service I know has made a lot of people happy, and it's a success. And what's nice about it, it's not just servicing Vista Creek, it's servicing the high school. That's why we go, that's why there's two stops. One stops to service the elderly section of Vista Creek, and then the second stops to service the other side of Vista Creek, but more so the high school. That walk is not that far, and I know that there's quite a few people that are using it to go to the high school. And that keeps us away from all that craziness of the traffic over at the school. So it's a perfect fit. So our 5311 grants, we put for the 2-year budgeted amount for public transit in Laughlin, $7,073,700,000. Yeah, $7.7 million. That's a lot of money. But I will say, we've reduced budget. That is a whole 1% reduction of our current operating costs. So that's good. We're tightening the belt a bit, but not in anywhere to where it affects our service. We're tightening the belt because we're leaving too much money on the table. So we're trying to get a little bit closer and a little bit better and due diligence rather than tying up funding that could possibly go to somebody else. 5339 grants with this AB 28 that's going on with the RTC. I need a commitment on the match to go after any more capital, which is new buses, facility improvements. So I did not apply for any 5339 grants this year. I have some meetings set up with RTC in June. Hopefully we know a little bit more about this AB 28 and I can possibly get some commitments from the RTC to go after more new buses. I'm also going after resealing the pavement at our site, going after the solar panel parking. So there's a whole long list of things that I'm going to go after, and we'll see how that goes. I know that there's plenty of 5339 capital money on the Fed side. It's just that the local money is where I got to get. We received all the new buses. I personally went up with our team and we flew up to Reno, went over to Sparks, inspected our new buses, and we drove them back last Friday. So they're in the shop now. I got the whole maintenance team for all 3 sites working on getting these buses ready. These are the buses that I had to purchase with no accessories, no options, and we're putting all of this in ourselves. So the guys right now are all working on it and getting after it. They will go into service with decals, numbers, and we will paint them as we can. It's important they're not sitting, costing us money to insure. They need to be out providing service. Community partnership, as we know, we're making sure that we're going to our quarterly meetings here. If I'm not able to attend, somebody will. In April, I'm now a member with the Bullhead City TAC Committee. I'm attending those meetings as well as attending RTC TAC committee meetings, and that has a lot to do with the new MPO UZA designated areas, which changes some fundings, and I got more meetings coming on that. But it's important that I play a role in the planning on the Bullhead side, and I play a role in the planning with the RTC side, and then I'm right in the middle to make it happen. SNTC and Sue attended the Cops and Bobbers on March 19th with the Judge Gino. We provided transportation in March and April to the Laughlin schools. This was a bit of a deviation, picking people up at some designated bus stops and taking them directly to the school for the functions that they had there, and I think it's parent-teacher conference kind of thing. And it was something to really try and see how it would work and how it would help. The ridership wasn't there, so I don't think that we'll need to do that. We're always willing to try, and so we tried, and it doesn't seem like it has a need. We also provided transportation to the inaugural Laughlin Bullhead Historic Bus Tour, and that was a total success. In fact, they're already talking to us about more stuff, and like I told them, even though they're kind of based on the Bullhead side, if there's a service needed, it doesn't matter which side of the river, as long as some of the services in Laughlin will help. Bullhead City Transit doesn't have the resources or the motivation to do what we do. So it doesn't matter, and I think it's all about partnershiping, and so they're extremely happy. We're already working on another deal, helping Legacy Foundation with some transportation they need, and as long as it's a government entity and a nonprofit, we can do it. Otherwise, we need to worry about charter laws. So that's what we got going on there. That's my report. Any questions?
Any questions?
I think you covered it all.
Bus rides?
One thing I know, this Memorial Day, you'll be doing free rides.
Yes.
7 cents.
So as we continue to do, pretty much every major holiday will be free rides. It has not impacted my budget doing so, so I don't see it going away, and I think it's just doing our part to keep the roads safe.
You appreciate that.
Yes,
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Kelly Lear,
There she is.
Southern Clark County Coordinator with UNR Extension regarding the status of programs and upcoming activities.
Kelly Lear, UNR Extension, last name Lehr. UNR Extension just completed, because they go from 1 to 2, the curriculum for Tuesday afternoon class that we offer at the Laughlin Library for homeschool students. We were a mobile farm, basically. I just rode here today with a box of little chickens, some mealworms, some butterflies, and some caterpillars. So Devin and the kids were meeting today with a 4-H representative from Las Vegas to see how they can be recognized as an actual entity and charter the club so they can represent Laughlin statewide. They're trying to become junior master gardeners, so they have this curriculum that they're following. And one of the things that she added was the countywide largest children's farmers market. It was on Earth Day. So April 22nd, it was at, can't remember what they call it in Summerlin, the Green, or it's just this beautiful area. And there were just hundreds of kids from Clark County there. And we had 10 kids representing. They made almost $150 selling herbs, balloon animals, painted rocks, painted terracotta pots. they were really proud of their balloon creatures. I don't know where that came from. We didn't practice it. We didn't prep it. But they liked those. It was an amazing day. It was a whirlwind. It was kind of thrown together because Devin had to get permitted as a grower. And so she's been really trying to focus on that down here in Laughlin. And we're going to work with the elementary school again next year with the hydroponics and Green Our Planet. I had fun at Bennett Elementary School. They had a spring carnival. Last month, we hosted a hockey challenge booth for the kids. And we enjoyed the festivities alongside the Boys and Girls Club and Metro and Rotary. Fred was there. So please let us know how we can integrate into the community for things like that, because anything having to do with the kiddos, I can come up with something. But we really want to try and help out with that, anything we can do. Devin and I hosted the last outdoor Nevada hike for 4-H kids and families. It was an in-service day for teachers. She tries to do that when the kids don't have anything going on. It was at Cottonwood Cove in Searchlight, and the students participated in a photo scavenger hunt. We did an impromptu beach cleanup because you couldn't imagine all the plastic Easter eggs and tablecloths and napkins and garbage we found. And we created a little mini river ecosystem thanks to donated equipment from Endow. That was kind of a cool little project that they did. So we're going to try and do a few more of those next year for them and try and keep them busy and get them outside and away from their handheld devices. That's my goal. We have summer programming coming to the Laughlin Library. It'll be on Tuesdays, starting that first Tuesday in June, and we'll go through mid-July. It's a 6-week Creatures of the Garden themed Lego robotic building. So they'll learn to code them, they'll build them. They love it. We did it with Bennett at the end of the year. It was a space theme. I'll put flyers on the back. So we're only taking 20 kids because we have that amount of equipment. We don't want somebody sitting. It's not fun to watch somebody else build. So we want them to get hands-on. Our shooting sports specialist came down to host a beginning archery clinic at the Post 2 Saturdays ago. Thank you, Pam, for helping to set that up and allowing us to use that desert space. It worked out fantastic. The experience was free, open to junior and high school students and who were interested in trying it, and we had 12 students in attendance. And we'd like to work on a few more days in the fall doing that and introducing it, because there were kids that were interested but couldn't make it that day because it was kind of a last-minute change with our venue, because ultimately the goal is to have an archery club. And if it's transportation we're worried about, we can transport them to the different competitions in Las Vegas or Henderson if we have to, or maybe even across the river, because there were some people from Arizona that said that they have a club in Arizona. We also beat the weather that day. It was absolutely gorgeous, perfect outside. The kids made it to Wings and Wildlife afterwards, which our master gardeners had a booth there giving out plants and seeds, so I hope you guys stop by, and they like to hand out free stuff, so always go see them. And then that's a reminder that our master gardeners host a Meet a Master Gardener workshop every month. It's the 4th Wednesday of the month, so it'll be on the 28th at 10:30 at the Laughlin Library. And you can ask them about plants, bushes, trees, and what best grows here in the desert Southwest. I know that Mark still has a corn that I gave him from Cops and Bobbers, and it's growing, so things will grow, I promise. We put some new beds, some new raised beds in the community garden last month as well. So Renee Yepes, Leroy's one of my master gardeners, some kids from Laughlin High School, and my #1 volunteer from home who was voluntold to come to the work day in April. We moved mulch, we planted trees, we worked on irrigation, cleaned up some recent vandalism that was there, and another beautiful day. We did it. We have to stop though, it's just too hot. So in the fall, we'll have another one where we fill those beds, and we're just encouraging people to call my office or get a hold of me, and we'll put you in a bed. It's free of charge. We even have seeds down there. We have mulch, we have soil, so we'll get you started if you want to try your green thumb out. We also have Dr. M.L. Robinson coming at the end of this month. It's the 31st. It will be at the Laughlin Library. It's free. He goes from 11 to 12:30. He's quite a character. If you've never seen him or heard him speak, you will absolutely adore him. I'll have flyers in the back, and I also have flyers for the summer camps that we offer. There are some scholarships available if you go through the website. So it brings the cost down to like $50. It is in Alamo. A lot of people call and ask me, oh, is it the Tahoe one? It's not, it's Alamo. And I can help out with the transportation to catch the bus, but it's still fantastic venue. It really is beautiful. And then we also have a flyer for the UNR Home Horticulture Certification Program. That's the start of becoming a Master Gardener. And so they're gonna start that up in the fall, and that's all online. So if you're interested, I've got flyers for that. And I think that's it. Any questions for me?
No.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Receive a report from Carrie Larson with Laughlin Chamber of Commerce regarding current and upcoming business activities in Laughlin.
Good afternoon, Chair and Board. We've got a few things going on coming up quick. We have a community field trip. We're going to Catherine's Landing. We're going to explore the different things they have available there and in their marina. That will be the 15th, which is Thursday at 11 a.m. Please RSVP if you plan to go to this. We will be giving a list of names to the guard tower or shacks up front so that you can get in for free. You can do that on our website, laughlinchamber.com. We have a business breakfast on the 30th with our new member, Red Coyote Trading Post, and so they're going to talk about their antique boutique and how it is a unique shopping experience. And that'll be at 8:30, the last Friday of the month. We have a grand opening and ribbon cutting for academic urgent care on June 6th. That's at 5:30, and Tyler Halsey and the Rivertown Bandits will be playing outside. There will be food, face painting, and fun stuff to do there. It is a joint ribbon cutting with the Bullhead City Chamber as well. The Chef's Food Fest, that's June 19th. I have an update on that. Our secret ingredient envelope has been stolen. Someone tried to break into the chamber. Luckily, they didn't get in, so we moved the envelope to another location. Communications were intercepted, and somehow it was absconded with. We don't know who the culprit is, but we do have some agents working to recover it. I'm not certain that we'll have it before the event, but I'm sure there will be plenty of agents there to help decipher who or what the secret ingredient is this year. So if you'd like to help us get back the top secret ingredient envelope, you can get tickets at laughlinchamber.com for June 19th at 5 o'clock. It is a fundraiser for River Fund Inc. that we facilitate for them. Membership is going swimmingly. We're doing really well. Claudia actually has a stack of new applications that she has not gotten to yet, so that are not reflected in this number. But all of our digital landscape, all the changes that we're making to that are really making a huge difference in our reach, and we're getting a whole bunch of new members on that, which is fantastic. We still don't have Claudia's notary stamp yet, so that is on hold. However, we did receive some help from Clark County, and they got us together with her and I think maybe John here in the office, and got everything that we needed out to them. Now we are in hurry up and wait mode. So that will be here eventually, and we'll let you know when we are back up and running. Really, really great news. I received a phone call from Assemblywoman Gallant that our AB 110 was scheduled for a hearing. So last week I went to Las Vegas and presented the bill to the Senate Committee on Growth and Infrastructure. That was really fun because I got to do a really neat slideshow for Don Laughlin's life and contributions to the community. I couldn't see what was happening up in Carson City, but Danielle said that it was ear-to-ear grins and went really well. So we are just waiting for them to convene for a work session on the bill, and we hope that they recommend it as due pass to the full body. So we are getting very close to getting that through to the governor. Thank you very much for Commissioner Naft. He actually called in to that hearing and said some wonderful, nice things about the bill and recommended that they pass it. So I appreciated that, as did Vegas Chamber again, which was also kind of fun and a surprise. There is nothing new to report on the energy corridor. I don't see anything new online on it. I don't know if it's tabled or where we are with that. But when I do find out some more information, I will let you know. I do have a couple other things. The 28th Annual Community Achievement Awards are set for November 1st. The nominations are due August 18th. And you can go on to laughlinchamber.com, go under Chamber Annual Events, and you'll find Community Achievement Awards. All of the applications for people that you, the community, would like to nominate to go through the vetting process to receive the award are on there, and we receive them into the office. So we encourage everyone to do that because that's going to come up pretty quick. And then other than that, I did happen to notice online, I believe over the weekend, on one of the community Facebook pages, someone was asking for, there was a water issue, and they were asking for an emergency number for Big Bend Water District. So I jumped online. There is no emergency number listed on their website in a clear and definable area. So if Commissioner Naft could bring that up to the water district, I think that that's very important. To give you an idea, in the time span that a truck from Las Vegas could get down here, if we had a main break, it would blow a hole the size of a 2,400 square foot house in a road. So that emergency number is really, really important to get up on there. That is all that I have today. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions?
Okay.
All right. Receive a report from Jackie Wallen with Laughlin Tourism Commission regarding current and upcoming events.
Good afternoon, Board. The first thing on the list is Big and Rich and Gretchen Wilson will be coming May 24th. Volunteers are stepping up to help Golden Entertainment facilitate that event. It will be at the Laughlin Entertainment Center. Rockets Over the River is scheduled for July 4th, 2025 at 9 o'clock. It's a 22-minute show. Sponsorship services partner is Bullhead City, and the music is provided by Murphy Broadcasting for choreographing to the radio. Message to the Stars is open, so if you have a loved one that you want to send a message to on one of the largest cannons, you can do that. All you have to do is go to Murphy Broadcasting and submit your letter, and those will go on the cannon. I take a picture of the message on the shell itself, and I send it to the family who submitted the letter, give them the minute, the second, and the description of the shell. So when they're sitting around with their family celebrating 4th of July, they'll know which shell was sent up to their loved one. I put a note in there that plans for America's 250th birthday, July 4th, 2026, are already underway. We met with Zambelli Fireworks and a drone company today. Of course, the partnership is with Bullhead City, so we're trying to split up the budgetary costs for that to make sure that we do something amazing because it's the 250th birthday, and it'll be within sight between you can go out 1.5 miles to 2 miles for both of those events. We have not approved the budget yet, but I want you to know we're really working on making that a spectacular event for the 250th. We have a town-wide concert in the fall already scheduled for Miranda Lambert on September 27th at LEC. Again, the Laughlin Chamber Volunteers in Partnership are going to provide at least 20 people to help with ticket scanning and ushering. I'm involved in that still because I'm their vice president for the Volunteers in Partnership, so I'll help keep you updated on how much they're doing for our community again. The second note in red is that we have already started to work on the Route 66 100th birthday, which is in 2026. Between, I don't know if you call Kingman a resort town, but between Williams and Flagstaff all the way to Amboy or beyond, there are no resort towns within 30 miles like we are of Route 66. There will be hundreds of people traveling Route 66 that time of year, and we're making sure we get all of the information out that we can to show them that they can come here to this tri-state along the river for entertainment, accommodations, and meals, and they can spend the night before the troop takes off the next day. I'm working with Bullhead City and Mojave County Supervisor on that one. And then Davis Dam 75 it comes up in 2026 and in 2027, depending on which anniversary you count, whether it was the pulling of the hydroelectricity commencement or whether it was the finishing of the dam. But I'm on that steering committee so that we can celebrate our dam in 2026 for its 75th. That one's also going to be in partner with Bullhead City and Mojave County to make sure that everybody has knowledge of that. And we're also working with BOR and the Department of Interior to open up tours to the dam, again, especially for our junior high and high school students for the educational purposes, so they can see how it operates and they can understand why it was put in for hydroelectricity and irrigation. And it's a great program. We're just waiting on the final approval for that. We had our first water safety meeting of the season last week. Thank you for attending, Mark. We appreciate it. NDOW was there, Clark County Fire, Bullhead City Fire, Parks and Recreation, and commercial business operators that do rentals. There continues to be issues with low water. They have adjusted some of the low water releases because WAPA has opened up a little bit more for irrigation, not necessarily for hydroelectricity. Irrigation is still needed, whether hydroelectricity is needed because of the solar generation that happens during the middle of the day. But if you go to usbr.gov and you go to the Davis Dam water releases, you can see that they've increased the hours in the middle of the day to accommodate water safety vessels. And they need a minimum of 2 units released, and we were only getting 1 between the hours of 11 and 2 or 3 p.m. in the afternoon. But now that we're working into the peak season for water recreation, they're promising Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we're asking for them to consider Monday for at least 3 units during the middle of the day for those days. And we've agreed to sacrifice Tuesdays and Wednesdays for all the low flows that they need to make up those 24-hour periods. I did submit a request to Clark County to have new safety. I think I copied you on it, and Pamela, I copied you. These signs are necessary. They're on the Bullhead City side, and all it is USBR's QR code, where you can pick up your phone and look at it, and it automatically brings up USBR's water releases for that day and the 4 days coming after. So you will not be at risk if you launch your boat, any kind of vessel, and you won't get stranded in the middle of the river. And you'll have access to public safety should something happen. The problem is if something happens and the water's too low, we can't get vessels out there, so we're either walking or swimming to help. But look up usbr.gov and go to Davis Dam water releases, and you can see what we're going by, what we see every single day or several times a day. The Laughlin Chamber and the Laughlin Tourism Commission partnered in a Nevada Commission on Tourism Travel Nevada grant. We submitted a request for $180,000 to destination marketing for this tri-state area that will include a new website, new marketing materials, mainly it's digital, so that we can start working together all around here for the Colorado River Valley destination awareness. A lot of people don't know how good our fishing and stuff is, and we need to keep pounding them on not just the fishing, but the water recreation, the fall recreation, the concerts that we have, the business opportunities, the relocation opportunities that we have. If we get that money, or hopefully the majority of it, that will fund on July 1st, and there will be a huge celebration. So Commissioner Naff gave us a letter of recommendation for that, a reference letter, and we got a whole bunch of them from the resorts and other people, even Bullhead City, to help us with that. That will also help us do some marketing for the FBO that we purchased. I'm on that board of directors. We purchased the FBO so that we could be more hospitable to our general aviation coming in and using it, and the new name is Stop and Go FBO. And we're doing a whole series on that. Hopefully we can put it in one of the large aviation magazines and tell everybody what this area looks like for general aviation, and that we're here with open arms for them. I think that's all I have right now. I'll stand for any questions. I talked really fast, I know.
It's a lot, as always.
Any questions?
How was the rodeo?
The rodeo was fine. I say that cautiously because I think the days we picked were inappropriate for the weather. If we would have had both rodeo days in the evening, like we did on Saturday, if we would have had them at night when the sun comes down, I think people would have enjoyed it more. The fact that we had one like from noon until 4 was terrible for the people who attended. It was direct, because we don't have any place to sit in the shade. It's all of those bleachers, and it made it really tough on them. It was really, really hard. And we had some lack of communication in bus service and bus drop-off sites. So all of those things have to work out, but we did have a good time. And the rodeo itself was amazing. It's just keeping people out of the sun, and I don't think enough thought was put into that. So going forward, if we have rodeos, it'll be in the evening.
Right.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
Okay, planning and zoning, general business, we don't have any. Now is the comments for the general public, a period devoted to comments by the general public about matters relevant to the board's jurisdiction will be held. No vote may be taken on a matter not listed on the posted agenda. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please step up to the speaker's podium. If applicable, clearly state your name and address, and please spell your last name for the record. If any member of the board wishes to extend the length of a presentation, this will be done by the chairperson or the board by majority vote.
Kathleen Whitehead, WHITEHEAD, 2833 Beacon Rock Drive, Laughlin. I just want to say to Mark and Commissioner Naft, no, this is good, Mark. He had this look on his face. To say thank you for the senior center. We finally, after how many years, we now have the dividing wall put in. So the card players aren't too loud, and the knit and crochet people aren't too loud now. So thank you for that. Now let's work on the community center. That's my next one. And I think that was it. Thank you. It's a big improvement now. So, and that's it.
Thank you.
Jackie Wallen, Laughlin Rotary President. I'd like to, if you didn't know, our Rotary Club raised $17,000 in 4 hours of bingo in March. Leap and bingo we had, and that 100% of that $17,000 went to Clark County School District Laughlin campus only. It was to enrich or enhance the funds, if any, that they get for fine arts, mainly art, music, and drama. And that money is going directly to work right away. Fred is a member of our Rotary, and so is Evan. And we have Fiddler on the Roof tomorrow night. So they're putting the money to great use, and they are presenting Fiddler on the Roof at Laughlin High School tomorrow. So if you can attend, that would be great. I think it starts at 6 o'clock. So the money's already going to work. And they could not believe, we presented it at a family, or at a student rally, pep rally, and we brought the students from the music and drama / art class out, and I thought they were going to fall to their knees. It's the most money they've ever had to provide our students with a form of some type of form of expression during the time that they spend on campus, and it's been very, very, very rewarding for us, and it's nice to see them putting it to use tomorrow night. So I wanted you guys to know that. Please try to attend and support them.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, my name is Jill Ramelot, and I am here today as a volunteer for River Fund. I wanted to let you know that River Fund has applied for another grant for the Laughlin Community Social Services Fund, and it's got a good chance of coming through. So last year they received $15,000 from the excuse me, it was the Harrah's Foundation, and they've applied for another one this year. And last year, that money went all to specifically Laughlin residents who needed help with a variety of things, broken down cars to get to work. I mean, a variety of awesome things happened. And this year they're looking to do that again. And we're still hoping that we can put together something that's a matching funds with some groups, organizations, anyone who can help us do a new fundraising campaign. So we're going to be promoting that. We're crossing our fingers. It looks like it's a really good possibility. So we'll let you know as soon as that happens again. But cross your fingers and look for information, because we're looking to re-up the money for that and help Laughlin residents some more this year. Riverfundinc.com is where you can find out more.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, our next meeting is May 27th at 2025. And if I can get a motion for adjournment. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
We have a second meeting this month, something on the agenda?